Hi everyone, my name is Angie Norris. Welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel, Tar Heel Thrifts For You. Today is Sunday, December 1st. I'm home from church, I've got a cup of coffee, and I'm gonna do a quick video here of a November wrap up of all the books that I read during the month of November. I read a total of 7, and so I'm gonna give you just a quick letting you know what the name of the book was, what genre it was, a little bit about it, and what my rating was. So the first one that we're going to talk about, the first book that I read during the month of November, was a historical fiction book by Fannie Flagg. Fannie Flagg was the author of Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe, which was turned into a very famous movie. And so I wanted to read something else by her. And this was the first book that I have read all year because I'm a pretty tough book critic. I really have to love a book to give it a 5-star rating. This one earned a 5-star rating, but it also is the first book this year so far that has made me cry. This one. Historical fiction. It primarily follows our primary character is a woman named Mrs. Sookie Poole who lives in Clear Point, Alabama, but then it has dual timelines and it hops back to World War II, the 1940s era in Wisconsin and a little bit in California as well. Very good book. If you love historical fiction, I highly recommend it. 5-star rating. The second book that I read, I no longer have the book because I put it up for sale in my Pango bookstore and it's already sold. But the name of the second book that I read this month was We Solve Murders by Richard Osman. This is a mystery. And Richard Osman is the author who wrote all of the books in the Thursday Murder Club series, which I have done some book reviews on. And that series of books, there are 4 so far in that series, and I've read all 4 of them, follow the same 4 characters. And I was so in love with those characters that this book does not. It introduces a new set of characters. And I think because I loved the Thursday Murder Club so much, I had a hard time getting into this book, but it got better and better. And I did like it, liked it very much, but not enough to give it a 5-star rating. It got a 4-star rating from me, and it's called We Solve Murders by Richard Osman. The third book that I read this month was another Fannie Flagg historical fiction entitled Standing in the Rainbow. And I don't have the physical book for this one either because I listened to this on audiobook. This book was set in Missouri. So not technically the South, kind of small town, mid-America. It was set over a period of 20 years roughly. And this one was very good as well. I have really fallen in love with Fannie Flagg as an author. In fact, I read 3 books by her during the month of November. I gave this one a 4-star rating. The next book that I read during the month of November, it was a book that was chosen by a book club that I facilitate on Facebook. It's an online book club in my group, Angie's Adventures. And it was a book, it's a historical fiction as well by Kristen Hanna. And the name of the book is The Nightingale. And someone else recommended this book. It was chosen as our choice in my book club for the month of November, as I said. And I cannot remember which person in my book club recommended this. We voted on it, but it was an amazing book. It was a chunky one. I think it was 500 and some pages. Let's see. 560 some pages. So it was a pretty chunky book, but it read very quickly. It was a very easy read. This book was set in France during World War II. And I fell in love with this book and this author, and I gave this one a 5-star. All right, that was book number 4. And then book number 5 that I read for another book club that I am in with some of my fellow Whatnot sellers on Discord, is they picked a dystopian book. This is the beginning of a series by Neal Shusterman, and the first book in this series is called Scythe. And this is a dystopian book, and it talks about, it's set around 2 teenagers who are chosen to be trainees to become scythes. And so in this dystopian world, there is no hunger, there's no disease, there's no war, there's no misery. Everything has been conquered, death has been conquered. And so in order to keep the population down, they have scythes who choose and kill people to keep the population down. And so it's a dystopian type book, and I enjoyed this book very much. It was a paperback. It was 400 and some pages, but it read very quickly. It was a very easy read. This is actually, I think, technically a young adult YA book, but I enjoyed it very much, gave it a 4-star if you're interested in those types of books. Now, the next book that I read, because I read The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah, was Kristin Hannah's latest release that came out earlier in 2024, entitled The Women. And this was like the number 2 choice in my online book club for the month of November. And I had several people that had already read The Nightingale that chose to read The Women. So I said, okay, great. I'll buy the book and I'll do a buddy read with you guys. This one was very good as well. It was set during the Vietnam War. So you'll see the book jacket there has some of the helicopters that brought the wounded in. This follows a nurse who is a nurse in the Army during the Vietnam War, and it talks about the women's role in the war in Vietnam. I enjoyed this book, but I did not enjoy it as well as I did The Nightingale. Still would highly recommend it if you like historical fiction. I gave it a 4-star read. And then the last book that I read during the month of November, because we're heading into the Christmas season, was another book by Fannie Flagg. Well, hang on there, guys. It went away. By Fannie Flagg, and it was called A Redbird Christmas. And I listened to this on audiobook, and it was a very short read. I think it was only 5 or 6 hours on audiobook, so it didn't take me that long to listen to it. But this is just a great, once again, Fannie Flagg. I can't say enough about her. I have fallen in love with her as an author. And if you're interested in a cute little Christmas feel-good story, A Redbird Christmas by Fannie Flagg, I gave that a 5-star. So a total of 7 books for me for the month of November. I would love to hear what you guys read in the month of November, or if you read any of these books, or if you have read any of these books, even if it wasn't during the month of November. I'd love to hear in the comments below what you thought about these books. So you guys have a great day. I appreciate you tuning in to my channel and listening to my book review. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.